It's 2023, a new year, and we're about to enjoy a lot more things to watch. We're going to talk about that and more on today's episode of the Geek Watch podcast.
This is the Geek Watch podcast with Brian Hatcher and Mandy Petrie.
Greetings, Geek Watchers, and welcome to episode 178 of the Geek Watch podcast. I'm Brian Hatcher, and with me, as always, Geek Watch's own resident geek goddess, Mandy Petrie.
Happy New Year and happy birthday, Brian.
And Happy New Year and happy birthday to you, too. I'm not going to ask your age because that's improper to ask a young woman her age, but you are still a young woman. I'm old as hell. That's my age.
I'm 40. So this is Lordy, look who's 40. I'm 40. I've accepted it. I watched that episode, the first episode of Absolutely Fabulous, where she's like just falling apart because she's 40. Like, at 40's great. It is. I'm here. It's awesome. Perfectly happy with it.
And it was Adina's ex-husband was at the party as well with her
with the new girl. And
not a girl. No, it was her boyfriend. It was his boyfriend.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Who made the comment, I don't see why we're here to celebrate that she's lived so bloody long. Yes, wonderful show. Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is, of course, now you're going to be 2 years away from life, the universe, and everything.
And everything, yes. 42.
Which, if you recall, years ago, you celebrated my birthday. When I turned 42.
At a New Year's party.
At a New Year's party.
Yeah, I think you had the first iPhone I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
I think it had video capability, and that was the first time I'd ever seen it. And that was really interesting.
But yeah, you were all about the fact that I had turned 42, and that party was 14 years ago. I'm 56 now. Like I said, old as heck. But yeah, How weird is that to think that party was 14 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
So, yeah.
That was a night of Rock Band and chicken wings. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good with the friend of the show, Kevin.
Kevin Pauly, yes, at his house. Yeah. I miss some of those parties. So it's been a while since we did a New Year's gaming night, and COVID has screwed up a lot of that. But hopefully we'll get a chance to do that again.
That's way past my bedtime, though, now.
Yeah.
I go to bed so early now.
Yeah.
I totally slept through New Year's. See the ball drop. I didn't see the clock change over. I slept right through it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm pretty much a go to bed early kind of person myself.
Yes.
Because I tend to get up about 5:30 in the morning, get a little bit of creative work done. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's like we're just getting old now. That's what's happening. But I am going to start the program with being absolutely thankful that we are not doing an in memoriam, because we very well could have been. Jeremy Renner.
Snowplow.
He's always been he loves driving large equipment and all of that. And in fact, I believe there was plans, and they've filmed some of it. I've heard of a program the Jeremy Renner program where he's driving big equipment.
Oh, okay.
Which maybe we'll get to see
sort of docu-series sort of thing.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Maybe this was a part of that.
What happened was, he lives in Reno, Nevada, and they got a massive snowstorm.
In Nevada.
Yeah.
Well, Nevada means snow-covered, so I wouldn't...
Yeah. Where he lives in Reno, they got a massive amount of snow. And he had neighbors that were snowed in, could not get out. And so Jeremy Renner he has a snowplow. He has a big, huge, massive snowplow. So he
just in the backyard. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was prepped. So he plowed the roads out so that his neighbors could get in and out. And what happened was, somebody, I think it was a member of his family, had gone into a ditch in the snow. So he gets out of the snowplow to help them.
Yeah.
And something happens, and the plow slips forward and basically hits him square in the chest.
Oh, that's so scary.
Yeah, they had to get a helicopter to get him out of there. He's still in the ICU. I think he had his surgery. He had chest trauma, massive chest trauma. He needed surgery there, and he needed orthopedic. That's easy for me to say. He needed orthopedic surgery, and apparently that's all gone very well. He's released a couple of Instagrams of him in the hospital.
Yeah, I think I saw a picture of maybe his wife was washing his hair or something, and that was really sweet.
It looks like he's going to pull through, but he's still in the ICU. Yeah. We wish him the best. Again, here, it's terrible that this happened, but again, strangely enough, he got his injuries being a hero, basically saving a bunch of people who were snowed in.
IRL.
Yeah, exactly. We just wish him the best of luck, and thank goodness it looks like he's going to be okay. It's going to take a while, but thank goodness he's going to be okay, and that's good. So I do want to talk a little bit about what we got coming in this coming year, because there's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, and oddly enough, it looks like we've got a lot of great horror coming up.
Yeah, some really good horror and some really interesting things.
Yeah.
They've released a couple of trailers today. They're doing a new Evil Dead. This is from when they did a remake of the Evil Dead movie where they're out in the cabin. Apparently this it's called Evil Dead Rise, and it's a cityscape. Basically, this happens in the city. It's a change of event in that aspect, because they've never done like
the cabin in the wood
or the medieval castle or the S-Mart. Some S-Mart stuff that went on, but and you've seen that trailer.
Yes,
so you're just excited to go to the theater now and see this, right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I think a lot of good stuff is coming out. Like I think I might try to see Megan this weekend. This weekend. That's opening up. Might be opening tonight. I'm not sure, but
yes,
I might try to see that. But yeah, Evil Dead. One thing is, so they're going more scary with it rather than the kind of hokey that Army of Darkness and
there was
Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Yeah,
and they're bringing kids into it, and creepy kids just adds a whole other element to horror and those sort of gothic stories that we have.
Yeah, and the thing about it is apparently the main deadite in this movie is the mother to the kid. Like, mother's living with the worms. Oh, that's odd.
And in the past couple of years, like, at one point of time, horror had a lot of mother influences, like Psycho, and maybe an abusive mother made someone do this. And then in these last few years, like, motherhood has become scary. Is it Goodnight Mommy? They just remade it with Naomi Watts.
Yeah.
But there was an original with the kids.
Right.
And The Babadook and all this kind of Hereditary, all these kind of movies where just being a mother, what is so scary about that? Not just childbirth, which Rosemary's Baby and those kind of things. It's Alive, where pregnancy had its own horror, and now motherhood is having its own horror. So now we've got this, because when you have the children in it, there's innocent. There's the thing about the innocent. What happens when your caretaker, your mother is the name of God, that's been in a couple of quotes. I don't know the original where that came from, but mother is the name of God in the eyes of children. I've heard that in a couple books, couple of movies, and the like. So now you can't even trust your own mother. I think this is going to be, I have high hopes for it.
Oh, yeah.
And Bruce Campbell is a producer in the film, and he actually talked about it. And he said, I'm not in the film, but I produced it, and I have seen it, and it's got my stamp of approval. So I'm very excited about this incarnation.
And like you say, there is that mother-child dichotomy, that idea of a relationship being twisted. And of course, in a lot of horror movies, it goes the other direction, because when you're a mother, you're very protective of your children. So if you make a threat to someone's child, and they even show that aspect of it in the trailer also, because there's this moment where the mother who's possessed, her personality comes through for just a moment, where she's begging these other people to protect her kid. And she realizes from her. So you get this idea that as horrible of a monster this deadite is, there is a mother terrified about what she's about to do to her own child and can't stop it. So you've got that aspect of it also. So it really does play into a lot of primal fear. And I'm looking forward to it. I definitely am. Now, there was another kind of a horror movie trailer that aired today.
Yeah.
Renfield, tell me what you saw that one as well.
Renfield, yeah. Okay, so Brendan Fraser had a quote about the dark monster verse. The first one was with the Mummy with Tom Cruise, and he said, they didn't have any fun. So I feel like if the 1999 Mummy had its own Universal Monster verse, that this kind of would fit into that rather than the dark verse or its own. I could see our Imhotep meeting this Dracula. I could do that. It's like Dracula Dead and loving it. We've got this kind of hokey parody of it.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it. And looking at it through Renfield's eyes, and we've got this whole other aspect that we're looking at it. What has he given up? What does he get out of it? And what can he do with what he's been given? And I love the group therapy. That is so adorable.
Yeah, this whole...
And they think that it's a metaphor and that he's using all these metaphors. He's sucking me dry. He makes me do all these things. And I love that aspect of it. And I'm excited about horror comedy. Is not an easy. I always go back to Death Becomes Her. That's my epitome of satire, horror comedy that I love, and think I'm okay with this.
Yeah. The thing about it is, obvious. It seems like in the aspect of this movie, Dracula is not necessarily a comedic figure. It's most of the comedy comes from Renfield, and like you say, it's this whole idea of Renfield's in a toxic relationship.
Yes.
In a real sense, and that's how he describes it. I do have to say that I had heard about this movie. I didn't know much about it, but I knew that Nicolas Cage was going to be Dracula. And I remembered many moons ago when I saw him play a vampire in The Vampire's Kiss. And although I have watched Nicolas Cage movies since then, and I've enjoyed them, there's always been a part of me that never forgave him for Vampire's Kiss, because this was a movie moment for me. Okay. I realized something I had never known up to that point, is that there are movies out there that I could actually hate. I always assumed that there might be movies that are not my taste or whatever, but the movie is going to have some redeeming quality.
Somewhere in there.
Otherwise, they wouldn't put it up on the screen. And I saw this movie and I was like, this bad movies exist, and I just seen one. And I sat in a theater and sat through this whole thing. Mm-hmm. And it was my introduction to the fact that sometimes movies are just not that good. And because the thing about it was, the premise of the movie is Nicolas Cage is messed up in the head and he thinks he's a vampire.
Okay. So
he's running around in this movie wearing literal plastic vampire fangs.
Okay.
Trying to be a vampire. It's a really weird movie. It wasn't at all what I expected. I haven't watched it since that time. I wonder if I could at this point enjoy it for the schlock, because I feel like that's what they were going for.
Yeah. Maybe you need to watch it on a riff track or a
yeah, they should.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if anyone's ever done, I don't know.
A Mystery Science Theater.
If anyone's ever hit that one, but yeah, at the time I felt like it was the first time I'd ever sat through a movie and felt like I had completely wasted my time. Never happened before. And so he's playing a vampire. Oh no, please no. I don't want to do this again, but it looks like it's fun. And
I'm not going to go in expecting really good performances and stuff, because it looks kind of action hero-y and a little bit of course, the parody and that whole. I feel like we're going to go in and we're going to see Renfield. Is it James Marsden? James Marsden, him being the most like straight man character, and then all these characters around him are going to be just caricatures. In the group, Dracula, everyone he sees, we're going to see them through his eyes, and they're just going to be over the top.
We have Awkwafina in it. So she plays.
Oh, really?
She plays the police officer.
Oh,
that he saves. Did you cut this guy's arm off with a platter? I have this thing.
It's on the wrist. Yeah, so, I didn't even realize that was her.
Yeah, that was
awesome.
Yeah, I think that they'll flesh her character out a bit as well. But yeah, like I said, it could go either way. But I like me some good schlock. I have developed a palate for it. And maybe I should go. That might be the thing to do, is when that movie comes, before I go see it, I'm going to maybe get a copy of Vampire's Kiss and watch that just to see if it's as bad and as goofy as I remember. And maybe now maybe I have reached the point in my elderly state that I could possibly appreciate that movie for what it was trying to do, which was be just absolutely off the wall. And Nicolas Cage turned up to level 11 Nicolas Cage, because he's just all over the place in this movie. But yeah, I may very well, like I said, I'll go back and watch that. Maybe I'll enjoy it. And Renfield, I'm willing to give it a shot. But let's talk about what the movie schedule looks like this year, because I was looking through a lot of these, and some of these things I knew about, but some of them I had never heard of before. Okay. And they seem like they were a huge production. But I will do this in chronological, and as we hit something, there's a few points that you may want to hit, and a few points that I may want to hit. But you're talking about Megan, which starts January the 6th, so that'll be out. Robot Girl, and of course that's already become a meme because of the dance. And here's a movie that opens up the 6th, and I don't think it may get a wide release. I hope that it does, but I didn't even know this movie was coming out. It's called The Pale Blue Eye.
The Edgar Allan Poe, right? I thought that was like a Netflix or an HBO or something.
It may be. It may be. I hope.
Of course, I'm excited about that. Yeah, because I think it's got like a stellar cast, and it's Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah, and I hadn't, like I said, I didn't know anything about that. And, of course, we talked about this on the show before, but Knock at the Cabin is February the 3rd, and Dave Bautista is going to be in that.
And Rupert Grint. Yeah. I don't want to give any spoilers, but you've read the book as well, right? Yeah, so we've both read the book. We know their characters, who they play, and
I cannot wait.
That their shirts are really important. So here's your thing. If you go see the movie, their shirts are actually very important. There you go.
Yeah, pay attention to the shirts. And then February 17th, we get Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Okay.
And the second movie in the Misery March of Marvel, is what I've started to call it, because we know it's not good. I'd been hearing about this movie, directed by Elizabeth Banks.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, this is her second movie that she's directed. And as you can imagine, this is a piece of cinematic, avant-garde, brilliant movie making called Cocaine Bear.
Okay.
Have you heard about this movie?
Nope, nothing.
You have to see the trailer for this movie.
Okay.
It's exactly what you think it is. Some drug dealers in a plane, to basically avoid the law, they dump all these bricks of cocaine out the back that go into the woods, and a bear starts eating the cocaine and goes crazy.
Okay.
Based on a true story, by the way. And yeah, actually based on a true story. So it's like Jaws in the woods with a coked up bear.
You know what? Everything I know about Elizabeth Banks as an actress, she has great comic timing and everything. While this sounds like a heavy duty, I think she could find the humor in this.
I have to show you the trailer since you haven't seen it. Okay. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Because you got two people up in a tree, and the guy's, bears can't climb trees, can they? So, what are you, an idiot? And it's a coked up bear. It just runs up the tree. But yeah, it's basically a coked up bear that's attacking people in the woods.
Wow.
And then March 10th, we get Scream 6. Jenna Ortega is in this one.
I hadn't realized just how many horror movies she's been in. She did X. She did The Babysitter. She's become Scream Queen in her own right.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And so also in March 17th, we talked about this movie, 65. With Adam Driver. This was the one where they crash on this primitive planet that turns out to be Earth.
Yes, it was Earth the whole time.
It was Earth the whole time.
Because also Adam Driver just had a movie come out that's basically Lampoon's Apocalypse Vacation. That's exactly what it looks like. I haven't watched it, but I need to. He and his family are in a station wagon during the apocalypse, so it's absolutely that. Also,
March the 17th, Shazam! Fury of the Gods.
Oh, okay.
So
probably our last.
Second to the last.
We get Flash, or
no, third to the last. I forgot.
Okay.
I don't know how I forgot about Flash, but March 31st, we get the Dungeons and Dragons movie, The Honor Among Thieves, with Chris Pine. April the 7th, the Super Mario Brothers movie, which has been mixed because people were like, Oh man, the voice for Bowser, Jack Black, is perfect, and the voice for Mario isn't. There have been people
Is
really
Chris Pratt, yeah.
Chris Pratt, and people have been complaining about that, which is. But the thing is, this is what's so weird, and I don't know if people are being serious about this or if this is just weird internet stuff. But there is a movement based upon the fact that people have complained in the past about Sonic the Hedgehog and how they had to do a complete redesign of the CGI because the old one looked terrible and they came up with the new one. And because of all the uproar online about Sonic, they changed it. And so in the same vein, there's an uproar to change the CGI on Mario to give him a butt.
What?
They said Mario needs to have a butt, and he's got no butt in this movie.
Sorry. I don't know of any Mario iteration where Mario had
in the
video game. I certainly didn't have an 8-bit butt.
Apparently,
or Mario Kart, he's sitting down.
Yeah, you can't even tell. But I keep saying, however, it's weird that they're saying he's just too flat in the back. He's got to have some dump truck. He's got to have some, and I'm like, that's what this is. This is the hill we're all gonna die on.
Of all the complaints,
Is that whatever? April the 14th we get Renfield. April the 21st we get Evil Dead Rise. So April is when the showers of blood.
Yeah.
So May the 5th, we get Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, the Marvel March of Misery. And then May the 26th, we get The Little Mermaid.
Oh, yay!
So and I thought this was going to be a Christmas release, but apparently it's going to be a summer release, June the 2nd, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Part 1.
Wait.
Yeah, it's actually going to be two movies. Prepare for a cliffhanger. So
why didn't they just name it like, I don't know, Back Across the Universe? It's fine. It's fine.
I think they did. I think that I forget what it's.
Into the verse, across the verse, under the verse.
Basically, Part 1 is, I think, like it's like a subtitle to it because they're letting you know this isn't going to be a complete story. There's
more to come.
Yeah, it's going to be a part 1. There's going to be a part 1 and a part 2 of the movie. Transformers. We're getting a new Transformers movie.
It's the animal one.
Rise
I
of the
loved Beast Wars. I was like in middle school or something, and it came on as I was getting ready to go to school. I loved Beast Wars. Optimus Primal. I'm not joking, Brian. I loved it. Cheetor and Rat Trap. I did. I loved Beast Wars. It was ridiculously horrible CGI. Loved it.
Now, you've seen the trailer for it, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So June 9th, we get the Rise of the Beasts. And June 16th, finally, we get The Flash. And I'm almost going to have to watch this movie just because of everything that's gone on about it. But it does feel I feel bad at the fact that Gal Gadot and Henry Cavill had cameos in this movie and they've both been cut. Ugh. And as much as I try to avoid a lot of the backstage stuff, especially with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and DC and all that, there's still stuff coming out about that they really do seem to be in the outs. And like I said, I'm trying to, that's an A-B conversation that I've decided to see my way out of. There's been all these problems, of course, with the DC extended universe all this time in the movies, and you would have hoped it would have gone away quietly, but no, it's not going to end with a whimper, but with a bang. But we're finally, after all this time, going to get to see our Flashpoint movie, and I hope for the best, but again, this is the farewell tour for sure. Then, June the 30th, we get the Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I still don't know what the Dial of Destiny is.
No idea.
If you do a Google search for Dial of Destiny, you just get Indiana Jones. That's it.
Right?
That's all you get. And then, a movie that actually does have Part 1 in the name, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, Part 1. So...
Excuse me, is this a spinoff? What are we looking at here?
Oh, no, this is the main Tom Cruise is definitely in this. And one little advertising that he did for Top Gun was he was shooting this movie. He was in a small plane. He wasn't flying the plane, but he was in a plane, and he's doing a selfie, and he's talking into the camera. And he's, we're getting ready. We're shooting for Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. Thank you for going to see Top Gun Maverick. And as he's talking and continues to talk, jumps out of the plane. And as he is plummeting to earth, he's still in selfie mode, talking to the camera the whole time. And he's, thank you again. I think I should pull a lever or something. And then he floats off. So he did a promo for Maverick. So he does this promo for Maverick while he's literally falling out of a plane.
Tom Cruise is a beast.
Yeah, for sure. And that's part 1. So that also is going to have a part 2, and they're splitting that off. July 21st, we get Barbie. So that's about to happen. Another movie that I had known this movie was coming out, Oppenheimer, July 21st. Cillian Murphy plays Oppenheimer. And if you remember, this was the gentleman he was the scientist that the United States turned to help them create the atomic bomb.
Oh, no.
He is known for saying the term, I have become the destroyer of worlds.
Wow, no.
Because he fully understood what he was unleashing. And so we have Cillian Murphy playing that role, and I'm looking forward to that one. I love that type of movie.
Yeah.
And then July the 28th, we get The Marvels.
Okay.
Which also is part of the Misery Tour. That's really sad because it's a movie that's got girls in it. So it's going to be sad for neckbeards, but it's going to be sad. And August the 4th, and because everybody demanded it, The Meg 2.
Oh, God.
The Trench.
The Trench. Okay.
So
what else is down there? Maybe we'll get a Kraken or something.
Yeah. And then... oh, I even forgot about this. Here's the thing. I don't know if this even counts as a DC movie, even though it is a DC movie. They may be trying to bring this into the new continuity instead of the old one. But August the 18th, we get Blue Beetle.
Ooh, the Sacred Scarab. Man, that'll be really interesting.
Yeah, but so it's a very technological suit type hero and that sort of thing. And they're probably going to try to pull that into the new continuity. I'm assuming that there's not a lot of the old Snyderverse in this, and so maybe that's salvageable.
Okay. Then
October the 6th, Sony once again attempting to take Spider-Man, trying to take Spider-Man heroes and Spider-Man villains and turn them into heroes.
Venomate, I don't know.
Yeah, Kraven the Hunter.
Okay, I don't know anything about Kraven the Hunter.
He was a Spider-Man villain who liked to hunt.
Okay.
And wanted to hunt the most dangerous prey, to whom he thought was Spider-Man. But they're going to turn him into a hero. Apparently, they're taking a bunch of Spider-Man's rogues gallery and make them into a group of heroes.
Okay.
It is what it is. This I didn't know anything about. This caught me by surprise. But October 13th, we're getting another Exorcist movie.
I knew the TV show was something, but is this like a sequel,
Yes.
a remake? Okay.
It's a sequel. And they're bringing Ellen Birkin back.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So she's coming back for this movie. So something is going on. I don't know much about it, and I was shocked to see it on the list, but it was there.
Yeah.
And then November the 3rd, we get Dune Part 2, finally.
Yeah.
And November the 17th, I didn't know anything about this either, although this is not a movie series that I really followed, but we're getting another Hunger Games movie, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which is a spin-off book that I guess they're making into movies. Once again, they're taking a property that was successful and they're trying to...
Like the Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, exactly. And quite frankly, if Dune is not enough Timothée Chalamet to suit you, don't worry, because December 15th, we get Wonka.
Oh, yes.
Where he plays Willy Wonka.
I'd heard about that, but don't know anything about it. So.
And so for Christmas, we get the gift of the last DCEU movie, which is Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. That will be 25th of December. And so that will be the end of the year and also the official end of everything in the DCEU. And probably before then, we'll have some kind of an idea about what DC movies are going to look like going forward. And I suspect if they can remove Blue Beetle, if there's not a lot of references to the Snyderverse in it, they'll be able to use that character.
Okay.
But because of the fact that Blue Beetle is not that popular a character, I hope that it does well.
Only know about it from Young Justice.
Yeah.
The animated show, which I love, so.
Yeah. Hopefully it does well, and we'll get to see more of that. And because that will at least give them it'll give DC the ability to, and Warner Brothers the ability to have something to push off of. Because
maybe not tent pole, but springboard.
Here's the thing. I remember a situation where a movie franchise was sprung off of a tech with a tech suit who was considered like a B tier, C tier character at the best, which was Iron Man. So does Blue Beetle become their Iron Man? It would be interesting.
That could happen. They could do that.
Yeah, but I guess we'll see.
We shall see.
Now, we do have to talk about television. Now, television is a weirder kind of a situation because obviously in movies, you got to have release dates. TV shows, not so much.
No. At one point in time, there was seasons, there were sweeps, there were finales, there were specials, there were very special episodes.
Yeah, so a lot of this is up in the air, but this is stuff that's supposed to come out this year. And we do have a few dates. For example, Star Wars The Bad Batch Season 2 has already started. That started in the 4th. And January the 8th starts The Mayfair Witches.
Yes.
So that's, if you enjoyed the vampires, the witches are next.
Was that Sunday? That's Sunday.
Yeah, this Sunday. So we're getting started. January the 15th is going to be the first episode of The Last of Us based off of the video game.
Video game, yeah.
February the 10th will be the release, an animated series on Disney Plus, Marvel's Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
Huh.
Have you heard of this?
Nope.
It's about a young genius of a girl who is able to pull a massive Tyrannosaurus Rex through time, and together they protect the city.
Love it. Love it very much.
If you're a Trekker, however you want to put it, describe yourself, February 16th will be the start of the third and last season of Star Trek Picard.
Okay.
February 17th, Season 2, Carnival Row. I am so excited about that.
10 years later.
Yeah, it's like it took forever, but here we are. And March the 1st, we get The Mandalorian Season 3. That gets started.
Oh, yeah.
Now, going back to February for just a little bit, there's going to be a February, we're not sure exactly when, but there's going to be a Valentine's Day special. Harley Quinn, a very problematic Valentine's Day special.
Ooh, is it the animated Harley?
Yes.
Yay!
So it's basically just like we got a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. We're getting Harley and Ivy.
Yes.
Valentine's Day special, a very problematic Valentine's Day special, which is going to happen February. Yeah, February. And now we start getting into a bunch of other shows like Secret Invasion, that's coming out in spring of 2023. And the animated Star Wars anthology series that we've been talking about, Visions Volume 2, which comes out spring 2023. And then, of course, we've been talking about The Walking Dead. We finally get the first spinoff of The Walking Dead City. It's got Negan and Maggie.
Okay.
Which is going to be out April 2023. I know this voice is getting annoying, but I'm not going to stop doing it. And then we get The Witcher Season 3. Summer 2023. And also Good Omens Season 2 in summer. Also summer 20. And then, of course, we get Marvel's Echo, which also is summer 2023. And also, we get Loki Season 2, also in summer 2023. But then we get X-Men 97. And we've been talking about that a little bit. The animated, where they're going back to the old 90s X-Men cartoon, and they're redoing that, where we get that one in fall 2023. And also we get the Ironheart series in Disney Plus, also in fall 2023. But hey, look, if you're going to start the year with witches, you got to end the year with witches as well. And of course, we get Agatha? Coven of Chaos in winter 2023. So
heck, right now it's winter 2023. Come on, dudes, give us something better than that.
Yeah, it's like the later part of the winter.
Yeah.
Winter part 2. But then, of course, this whole idea of sometime in the season, if that's getting ridiculous. Let's go to something else and talk about the Star Wars Ahsoka series that's going to, of course, Rosario Dawson is going to be reprising her role as Ahsoka, which is going to be 2023 sometime, but they're not sure.
We don't have any idea.
So anytime between now and December 31st, we might see that. And Marvel's What If Season 2.
Yay!
2023 sometime somewhere between now and December 31st. Get that. So
we shall see.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. But what it comes down to is there's a lot that we're going to have to enjoy. And I didn't even mention in here, and it's supposed to be, I think it's November, we're going to see Doctor Who. We're supposed to be getting 3 episodes. I'm hearing November. Are they going to do November, December, and January? And then but at the same, so we're going to get something that feels like a Christmas special, because if you recall, back when David Tennant was checking out, we got a Christmas and then a New Year special, a part 2. And of course, David Tennant regenerated at the end of the New Year special. So maybe we're going to get something like that. Maybe November will be the first one. We get a Christmas episode and then a New Year special, and then we get to Ncuti Gatwa. Yes. But we don't have any dates on that yet. But as soon as we hear something, we will definitely...
Come on, Bad Wolf, give us something.
Give us something. But let's see what we will definitely see when we see. And with that said, we come to the end of episode 178. Thank you for listening, and tune in next time for the latest in geek news and views with the Geek Watch podcast. For Mandy Petrie, this is Brian Hatcher, reminding all the Geek Watchers out there, we're all geeky about something. Be proud of yours. See you next time. Thank you for listening to the Geek Watch podcast. If you enjoyed this program, don't forget to like and subscribe on your preferred platform and share this podcast on your social media. For links to all the ways you can listen to the Geek Watch podcast, as well as leave comments and suggestions, visit our website at geekwatch.net. The Geek Watch podcast is a Hanging J production.